Hi there. This is a kind of work in progress based on the Platonic structure of the cosmos and of the place of the human soul within that cosmos. Really different parts of the soul, I suppose, and different parts of the ineffable, if such a thing can actually be said. So here at the top here we have the spirit portal. This is not even really the ineffable. This is merely the portal to it. But this is at the spiritual level. So I suppose the symbol of the Holy Grail would sort of abide at this particular level. And then you've got so the Grail also acts as a bridge between this world, this mundane world, and the ineffable supernal world. And then you have in the midst of this material plane, in the midst of matter, as it were, the soul of every sentient being. And this soul is hidden from sight most of the time, hidden from our experience. But through the action of the Holy Spirit, we may come to know our soul, and by reflection, come to know something fleetingly of the great beyond. But the consciousness that that Plato referred to, the nous, or the Neoplatonists referred to the nous, or nous. I was thinking here that dividing the nous up into angel, adept, and scribe, I got this categorization from a commentary on, I think it was The Heart Girt with a Sword, I think, or was it Liber Lapis Lazuli by Alistair, or received by Alistair Crowley, and commented on by Marcelo Motta in one of his apocryphal books, as the OTO call it, because they don't like Motta, of course. So everything that Motta did was apocryphal, and not genuinely OTO, apparently. Anyway, whatever genuine OTO actually means, I'm not sure really about that. But anyway, so I got this categorization, and I thought that the nous, or nous, would be a kind of mobile, a mobile consciousness, as it were. Like for example, you if you now concentrate on your big toe, and really feel your big toe, and feel all the sensory neurons from the big toe being fired as you become aware of its presence on the end of your foot. I had in mind that this sort of mobile consciousness was that awareness. So this awareness, you can direct it to anywhere. You can direct it to your big toe or little finger. You can even direct it outside of your body, sort of floating around in the air. Or you can imagine yourself floating above the earth, looking down on the planet. So I had in mind that it's a kind of mobile consciousness. I mean, part of it is directed to parts of the body or parts of your material self, or the clothes you're wearing, or you could imagine yourself as an item of clothing, for example, wrapping yourself up in that item of clothing. So it's a matter of imagination and being aware of your surroundings, being aware of material surroundings. But it's kind of like a sort of mobile, and it consists of three parts, which is the angel, adept, and scribe. And the angel, I thought, would be the part of this mobile consciousness that you could direct to the vision of the Holy Grail. And that would be a type of mobile consciousness that you might become aware of, or your awareness is directed towards the vision of the Holy Grail, and therefore to fleetingly to the supernal. And then the adept would be directed, become aware of your soul, So by various means, introspective, meditational means, part of your consciousness is directed to the soul, which is existent within matter, according to the Gnostic model. And finally, the scribe would be your consciousness that would be directed towards the material matter itself, like as I say, your big toe, or but more than that, as this model shows, the scribe is also part. It actually kind of records your experiences of the numinous as well. So the circle actually is only a little bit attracted, a little bit focused on the material world, and a lot focused, 90% of it really, focused on the ineffable itself. And it receives this data from the adept and the angel. So the scribe itself is sort of rather a bit of a dumb waiter, really, just a scribe, just a secretary that records everything. And then perhaps the records are seen by the adept and interpreted by the adept, and then the angel takes these interpretations, and from these interpretations creates a picture, if you like, of the spiritual realm. So this is all my contemplation. This is the scope of my contemplation at the moment with all this. But of course, there's a huge danger of categorizing everything. I'm sort of, I have a tendency to categorize everything, and black and white thinking as well, and to put everything into little pigeonholes, which is a really, really bad idea, because as Wittgenstein showed, you've got a kind of category, but then you've got the sort of fuzzy edges of a category, where the definition breaks down and flows into another definition, and even that language is merely, these are signposts. So these categories are signposting something beyond what the category is supposed to be defining. If that makes any sense. I hope I've got that right anyway. Wittgenstein is a good philosopher to pretend you know something about, when in fact you don't know anything about Wittgenstein at all. It just sounds good. Anyway, that's what I picked up from the little bit of Wittgenstein that I read. Perhaps I should read a bit more of it, and come back to you when I have a little bit more knowledge of actually what I'm talking about. Unless anybody wishes to comment on that, Wittgenstein and his fuzzy edges. Anyway, so categorization is a bit of a problem. These are working models, really. I mean, the model probably has no bearing on the actual reality of anything, even supposing there is a reality to have a bearing on, which is disputable, isn't it, really? Especially when you get to especially when you start looking at anything which is supernatural or beyond the material. I mean, the material is illusory, but then you get all these subtle planes, which are just even more subtle examples of Maya or illusion. And the only reality is actually the supernal realm, of which we know nothing. So, or which we can know a little bit fleetingly. And that's all that we can really ever expect to know whilst we're on this plane, or even if we go to another plane after death. Let us say, if we care to speculate on that, which is not altogether a very good thing, but if we wish to speculate even at another level beyond the material, I think we still don't. We only know things about the ineffable in a fleeting kind of spark. And very inadequately at that. So just because you're dead doesn't mean to say you're any smarter or any more cognizant of the supernal, ineffable world. You see, I'm afraid. I hope that doesn't burst your bubble about dying and becoming a smart spirit and soaring around and in the astral and finding out all the secrets, because you could find that the astral is actually no better equipped to reveal anything than the actual material world in which we live now. That's just my speculation about that. So this is, as I say, a bit of a working schema based on Plato's idea of the soul and the supernal worlds and the world of matter. And of course, in all this, I have not mentioned the fact that that one might consider matter to be evil and spirit to be good. I haven't introduced those categories at all in this discussion. It's merely talked about how one might become aware of something, which it is very difficult to become aware of, and what sort of vehicle of awareness might be involved in becoming aware of something beyond the material or beyond the astral or mental or etheric or causal or whatever. To get to the spiritual, we have to have something, perhaps that is aware of something, and this awareness would be this kind of nous of this kind of mobile kind of awareness that can actually go anywhere from your big toe right to the spiritual realm itself. That's basically what I was kind of trying to get towards here. That is an understanding of that. But whether that does any good or not, I'm not sure.